That's right, folks. It's tax time. Join Melanie Taddeo in this installment of A Melanie Minute to hear her advice based on her experiences as someone with a disability who, like everyone else, has to file her income tax return every year. Learn about the advantages of keeping your records and paperwork organized, and for anyone with a disability, what you should be aware of during income tax season. The content in this episode is not to be construed as legal or technical advice, but to share experiences on how to avail oneself of certain benefits, credits, and deductions for people with disabilities in Canada.
I'm Melanie Taddeo, the founder of Connect for Life. As April is upon us, not only is it exciting to think springtime has arrived, but it's also time to consider it's tax time. Yes, April 30th is the deadline to file our taxes. Each and every year, we have to do this. This is something that is necessary. And it can be daunting for some, especially for those with disabilities. But over the last 30 years, I have learned many different tips and tricks that I thought I'd just share a few things for you to consider while preparing for that April 30th deadline. First and foremost, being organized and having all of the information ready is essential. Whether you have T4s or other documents that are necessary to file your taxes, making sure you have them in one place so that you don't feel frazzled at the end looking for everything. I know too many times I thought I've put something in a spot and I couldn't find it, and that's frustrating for sure. So now I put together an envelope every year, and as all the documents come in, I put them in there and it's in one spot. There's also things that I didn't know that are important for us as individuals with disabilities to really consider claiming on our taxes. But before we even get into all of that, the next step is finding somebody you trust to file your taxes, whether it's a family member who can help you do it personally or an accountant or a service that does tax filing. But it's really important that they understand the disability component, what can and cannot be counted on your taxes. So getting somebody that has some experience filing taxes for individuals with disabilities is essential. There are many great services out there, and I encourage you to do your research. I'm not going to tell you who to use because that's a personal choice. But making sure you ask the question, have you ever filed somebody's income tax for someone with a disability? So now you've got the person, you've got all your documents ready to go. What things do you not think about that could possibly be included in your taxes? Well, definitely as individuals with disabilities, we have different things, such as health care and perhaps attendant care. These are things that can be definitely counted on your tax filing. Also, if you have any supplies that you use, catheters or any bandages, anything to do with personal care, this also can be included in your tax filing. As well, if you've done any renovations to your home because of your disability, these too can be included in your tax filing. Now, again, you wouldn't file those every year, just for the year that you had those renovations done. Also, it's important for you to file your medication. A lot of us have medication, so getting a printout from your pharmacist of all the medications and the portions that you've paid throughout the year, it adds up. Again, transportation. Are you on TransHelp or WillTrans? Do you use accessible transportation? Getting a receipt for these also can be filed on your taxes. And then the biggest thing that I didn't know about many moons ago is a disability tax credit. Now, if you have a permanent disability and your disability is exactly what the government says, it's permanent, it impacts your daily living, and you want to check the website, the CRA website, to make sure you will qualify for disability tax credit. And it's important that you look into this because this will help give you or somebody that perhaps is your spouse or your parent, will give them a little bit of tax relief. You have to fill in a form and your doctor also has to fill it in. This can be sent in by yourself or your accountant or person helping you with your taxes. Now, don't panic if you don't have it already. You don't have to do it by the April 30th deadline, although It is helpful to have it done, but you can apply any time of the year. And I will tell you, it is a lengthy process in getting the form filled out because it is, doctors have a lot to do. Once it is submitted, and if you are found eligible, what's really great about this is you can get up to $6,000 in disability tax credits towards your taxes. Now, that doesn't mean you're going to get $6,000 back, please understand, but it will help give you a tax break. If you're not working and perhaps only receiving ODSP or a Canada pension, somebody that you live with, whether you are a dependent, you have a spouse, or a parent, they can claim your disability tax credit, which will help alleviate some pressure on them. Now, this is something that is ongoing. So, what does that mean? So, you can use this every year. You only have to file once, and then you have the disability tax credit. And the great thing is it can be backdated. So if you're just going to be applying this year, don't panic. If you've been disabled for the last 10 years and you have proof of this, it will go backdated and you will get the money back from previous tax years, which is great. What's also really important about having the disability tax credit is the new federal disability benefit is going to be starting July 1st. And in order to qualify for that, you need to have a disability tax credit. So it is a win-win. So I encourage you, if you don't already have your disability tax credit, then please apply. This helps for sure. So now that you've considered all of these things, there's also other areas that we can look upon that can help us with our taxes. Obviously, if you are working, investing in RDSP, Registered Disability Saving Program. Now, this doesn't have to be only if you're working. If you have the disability tax credit, you and have a permanent disability, you can qualify for the RDSP. And I encourage you to connect with a financial planner or a bank to learn more. What this is an opportunity for you to qualify to gain money from the government. Even if you're not working, you will get the loan or the credit of $1,000 a year towards savings. And if you want to contribute money, this also will help with taxes. It goes into a registered savings program, and you can contribute to an RDSP up to the age of 49. At that point, you can no longer contribute, but the money is still there. And again, will come back to you at the age of 65. There's a lot of great things about these loans or credits or any contributions to RDSP because the government will match the money that you put in. So, for example, that $1,000 you'll get matched. But sometimes, for example, let's just say, I'll use myself as an example. One year I was doing $500 a month because I really wanted to build it up before I hit that 49 years. And I would get it times 3. So I would put 500 a month, but then the government would times it by 3. So for every 500, they would put 1,500. So it added up very, very quickly. And what's really great about that is that's free money. Now, don't get too excited because if you take the money out before the deadline or the eligible age, you will have to pay back any government components. So be careful and really truly understand all the details on RDSP. But again, if RDSP is not something you're looking at, perhaps RSPs are something that you can, because once again, RSPs will give you a credit on your taxes. I know it's a lot of information, and if you're unsure, please ask a financial advisor, your accountant, or somebody at the bank that may know more information. But again, let's all try to aim to hit that April 30th deadline and get your taxes in on time. Think of it this way. If you get a rebate, something back, then you may have some extra spending money for the summer or something to invest, whatever you look at. And it's always good to plan ahead. So happy tax time. Don't forget to file, and we will talk again on the next Melanie Minute.
You have been listening to Connect for Life, the podcast. Connect for Life is a Canadian-based registered charity committed to eliminating barriers for people with disabilities. Visit connectforlife.ca and join us in helping people with disabilities become the champions of their growth stories.